And we are back again in a brand new recording session. Picking back up in Doom Eternal, I originally wasn't sure how many episodes I was going to record and create for the series of Steamlook videos. The first session or so went through, I'd say, majority of the first chapter of the game. Sort of an intro, as I kind of got acclimated with the controls, having not played a shooter in quite some time. Since then, I have played considerably further. This game is very fun and difficult to put down, and I ended up playing pretty close to the end of the game. I'm at the point right now where I can go to the final level, but the game has told me that I need to make sure I do everything I want to do and unlock what I want to unlock before I go to that last level, because I can't go back. So what I want to do in this series of videos is to go back through some earlier levels that I didn't show in the last recording session, show some of the new mechanics, the weapons, and things that I've picked up along the way, and try and get some of the unlockables that I've missed. There's some challenge rooms that I haven't done yet that are part of the overall completion, and I want to make that the focus of this particular session. The character here is Samuel. He's an NPC we picked up that was a character in the first game. He's a robot that's become the AI consciousness of our ship, the Fortress of Doom. And this central hub, I didn't get a chance to really show off. Basically, this functions as your main area where you come back to after you've done your missions, and there's a whole host of unlockables in this particular area that you can use certain currencies you find in missions to unlock bonuses and power-ups in order to increase the Slayer's abilities. And right away, I could see there's something up there, and I didn't know how to actually get there, so I had to look it up. If we go to the right side, there's a red button there. If we shoot it, it creates a lift and gets us straight up into the ventilation ducts above, and we can pick that up. I'll explain the cheat codes before we actually start, but real quick, to run around the fortress here, if you look at the map, I won't go through each section, but there's multiple levels and a whole bunch of things to unlock here. And as you get sentinel batteries, which are in-game objects you can collect in mission, you use them to unlock all these icons down here. There's some weapon mod things. The Predator suit points for suit upgrades. There's collectibles like music. And overall, there's a lot of stuff here I haven't gotten yet. There's a couple ones down here. I have to play through some other missions to get more batteries to open them up. But overall, the central hub is pretty neat. I like the way they sort of put it together. This is what one of the unlockables looks like. You can use your batteries here, and each one takes 2. This is the classic Doomslayer armor from the old games. Overall, there's a lot to unlock here if you want to complete everything. Real quick before I go into the other menus, I want to explain the weapons I picked up. When we did the last session, I had the combat shotgun with its grenade launcher. If we mouse up, I had the heavy cannon. And its alt-fire mod that I've been using more is the micro-missile launcher. The other one being the sniper rifle, the bolt launcher. While being able to snipe things from a distance is nice, the micro-missile pack allows you to fire off a whole swarming set of seeking missiles that'll path towards targets. And it fires them in pretty big volleys as long as you have ammo. And it does a lot of pretty quick damage that'll usually drop most medium to large size targets if you hit them hard enough. The next thing that I don't think I got in the first session is the plasma launcher. or plasma rifle. Make sure I'm calling these things the right name. This thing is a high-capacity ammo rapid-fire gun that shoots plasma bullets. I don't have too much here, so I can't really demonstrate it. But this thing can pile on the damage because it shoots quickly, and it can overload enemy shields. Next up, we have the rocket launcher, standard Doom mainstay. Fires straightforward, heavy damage, explosive rounds. Its alt fire is a lock-on system, which I can't do because there's no targets, but it allowed me to lock on three seeking missiles on a single target. Overall, this weapon is good for dealing tons of damage to big targets, but you have to be careful because if you do it in close proximity to something, the concussive damage will hurt you. Next up, we have the super shotgun. I believe this was another mainstay weapon in Doom 2016. Basically, it's a high-powered double-barrel shotgun. It does heavy damage at close range. It has more stopping power and overall oomph to it than the combat shotgun. And I can't do it because there's no targets here, but the alt fire for this weapon is the meat hook. You can see the little prong thing on the bottom that's moving in and out. It's basically a hook shot. If you go and target an enemy and use the meat hook, you'll spear them with it and grapple towards them, and you can change your trajectory and use it to sort of zip around. If you need to close the distance between you and a target, the meat hook is pretty effective. Super shotgun is good, and it's very powerful. If you're going toe-to-toe with something, this thing will stack on quite a bit of damage. Next up is one of my personal favorites, and another mainstay of the Doom series, the chain gun. And this thing doesn't have a special name, I don't think. Yeah, chain gun. Uses the same bullets as the heavy cannon. Basically, as the name sounds, or would suggest, this thing just dishes out tons of damage very quickly. Chews through rounds fast, especially if you're rapid firing, but it also does tons of damage to big targets, and it'll completely destroy smaller targets. I didn't mention it for the previous weapon, but the alt fire for the chain gun that I have on this mod is the turret mode. Basically expands out the individual part of the chain gun and allows you to spray down more rounds more quickly. It burns through ammo much faster, but it does a ton of damage and shreds most things. One of the things in this mode that you have to deal with earlier on is it overheating if you fire it for too long. I unlocked all the mods for it, and the perk you get for unlocking all the mods in this mode is that it doesn't overheat. You can just keep the pressure on and fill stuff full of holes. There's a couple other weapons here that I don't think I can actually pull up because I don't have ammo for them. And that includes the BFG, the one button I'm going to nuke everything weapon. I think it's because I'm out of plasma shell energy. I can't pull it up here. But if I go in mission, I should be able to demonstrate that. What we could do is go into one of the earlier missions that I'm trying to unlock stuff for, and I'll kind of demo some of the newer weapons as we run through. Talk about the cheat codes. These are unlockable things you can find in the different missions. As the names would suggest, they bestow certain perks when you activate them. Things like infinite extra lives. This is super armor. All weapons unlocked and mastered. Infinite ammo. You basically, after you've cleared a level, you can play through it again with the cheats enabled to augment your gameplay and use it to sort of progress through and unlock things and basically change how you play the game. The only exception is for the challenge rooms, which I'm going back to do now. You can't have cheats enabled or you won't be able to access those rooms. But overall, they're pretty fun. Going through some of the earlier levels and throwing something like infinite ammo on and just nuking everything in your path is kind of entertaining. And there's still some that I haven't unlocked yet. Right now, we're going to go to the cultist base. Now, looking at the map for this particular area, I've collected pretty much everything as far as the items go. The reason why I'm coming here, if we were to zoom around the map, is to do this section right here. This is the challenge room. And there's also a special bonus fight down here. And then what I'll do is I'll play through each section and actually go to the end of the level. That way you guys can see the whole series of fights, and it'll give me a chance to demo the weapons more. Another weapon that I couldn't show off on the ship because I was too low on energy ammo is the ballista. This thing is an energy projectile weapon. It basically fires concentrated bolts long range, kind of like a sniper rifle. Its alt fire that I have equipped with this mod is a charged projectile that once you hit the enemy, it'll detonate and do a lot of damage. And I still can't pull the BFG up because I don't have ammo for that one. Now we have our first major zone. I haven't played this game in a little bit, so this will be a good chance to get the rust off. These big skeleton-looking guys with the rocket launchers are revenants. They can be trouble if you're not paying attention. Easiest way to deal with them is to use grenades or something else to take out their shoulder-mounted rocket launchers and cut their projectiles.
The Hell Priest is somewhere in this facility. I cannot pinpoint his exact location at this time.
Okay. Focus of this mission is infiltrating this base and tracking down one of the priests that we're supposed to murder. These sort of Terminator-looking dudes are slightly stronger fodder, and they have flamethrowers mounted to their arms. They're pretty easy to deal with overall, just sitting targets.
Welcome, Slayer. Is my time at an end? Let's see if you're strong enough to survive this cursed city.
Let's show off the ballista. Ooh boy, that's a Hell Knight. That is a heavy enemy that is quite dangerous. Fortunately, because I have better armor, more health and ammo, they're not too bad, but those guys will run you down and punch you to death if you're not careful. Chain gun functions like you would expect for a rapid fire weapon. Point, spray, and things will melt. And that hefty fella is a Mancubus. They are heavy demons with arm-mounted flamethrowers, I think those are. They can be tough to deal with, especially in large groups. Oh, there's a lot of dudes in here. Way to deal with the Mancubi is to blow up their arm-mounted cannons with something like a grenade launcher. Or if you have heavy weapons like the rocket launcher, you can basically pelt them with heavy ordnance and they'll go down. In earlier parts of the game, when you're a little less geared and those things show up, they can really ruin your day because they soak tons of damage and they dish it out.